Yo, you my nigga, don't never forget it. No, if you need it and I got it, yep, we can split it. You need it.
How's it going, guys? Mod98 here. Tonight I want to talk to you about the PS4 exploit that's being basically worked on. I want to talk to you about the PS4 firmware, which is basically released. It is official that they're releasing 7.50, which is the newest firmware, which is released. Of course, that was released, I think, about maybe 3 days ago, I believe. I think it was 3 days ago. Not sure, but I read in the somewhere in the media saying 7.50 is basically being released. So basically, the current system firmware is basically at 7.50. Course, let's see here. Don't want to confuse you. Okay, here we go. 6-point series is basically being worked in private. They're working in the exploit for the exploit firmware where you can actually jailbreak your system at the 6-point series. As far as what I know, as I see, I'm gonna put the link down for you guys so you can check it out and see for yourself. Of course, you probably seen other videos, but I'm making a video of it as well. So what I've seen is firmware 7.x, which is the 7 series of the firmware. So what I've known is basically they're working on it now. They dumped the kernel. They dumped the they did a kernel dump, which is basically half of a kernel exploit, which is basically being worked on. So I'm not sure if somebody's gonna have a 7.02 or a person with a downgraded system that they might want to borrow so they can exploit that firmware. And for those who are 7-point users, could possibly jailbreak their system. Keep in mind that once the PS5 is released, I'm going to talk about that sometimes in another week, but I want to talk about the PS4 exploit. For those who are on 6.20 or lower at 6.02, you are lucky to possibly jailbreak your system. I'm not sure when they're going to release it. They may release it around the time when PS5 does come out officially to that launch, to the launch day of the Xbox Series X. And also I heard rumors, basically I read somewhere that I was the third person to actually to read about the new Switch, the 10.0, which is 10.0.0 basically, which is an updated system. And a hacker basically discovered this data, which explains that it's going to be a dual screen. So they're going to probably rehatch the 3DS into the Switch into a dual screen instead of being a single screen. It's going to be similar to what the 3DS is, but it's going to be different for the Switch. So they're possibly talking about making a Switch 2, which is going to probably with the dual screen, a bigger screen instead of the Pro. I'm not sure when they're gonna release the Pro. I kept reading somewhere in the article saying Nintendo's teasing about making another system like the Switch Pro, which is supposed to be a bigger system than the original. But as far as I've read, the hacker basically learned that they're gonna probably do a dual screen for the Switch. So we don't know if it's gonna be a Switch Pro or it's gonna be a Switch 2. So we don't know what's gonna be for the Nintendo console. But as far as I know, I've read somewhere in that article saying the hacker basically know that it's confirmed, or either it's unconfirmed whether Nintendo is gonna do another release for a system as they did with the Lite. When they released the 5.0 firmware for the Switch, that's basically saying that the Switch Lite, basically that was the Switch Lite. being confirmed that's going to be another switch, but probably cheaper, and the one that you just have to play on, the one you can't snap off. Sorry guys, but anyway, the switch they're talking about is gonna probably be a dual screen instead of being a singular screen. They're probably gonna look at the 3DS, and they're gonna look at the aspect of the console, and they're gonna probably put another screen on top of the system. So that means we're gonna have a dual screen switch. I'm not sure what they're gonna call it. I don't know what they're gonna announce it or what. As far as I know, the hacker basically discovered that, and he's basically putting it on the public browsing internet where we look up, where basically he's telling us what it's gonna be. So of course he done this with the Switch Lite. So of course that's never yet surprised. Of course, everyone who doesn't really know, they don't know, but for those who reading about it knows very well. But we don't know whether it's going to be a Switch Pro or a Switch dual screen. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be somewhat like the 3DS to that extent. We don't know. I don't know what's going to be looking like, but as far as I know, it's basically saying what he's saying, the hacker's saying, that there's a possibility with the firmware that's being released, that's basically is released, which is basically live, is basically the next system to be a dual screen. So the part that I'm trying to explain, I'm not sure whether it's going to be released to the year 2021. We don't know whether it's possible or not, but Nintendo may or may not announce it until they say it's official. But what the hacker says about what the firmware is could be to the point where they're actually going to probably eventually make into a dual screen, just like what they did with the DS, of course. So yeah, but we'll see what's going to be next for the gaming industry. That's going to bring more next generation consoles. Of course, we all destined to see. But yeah, just wanted to just let you know about that. Also, well, I don't have nothing else to say, honestly, about that. But this all, as far as I know, that's all I really know about. But anyway, if you guys want to check out my videos, please do so. This video is going to be on my YouTube channel. Also, it's going to be on Facebook, so others can watch this as well as they can watch on my YouTube channel. So subscribe for me. Subscribe to my channel. If you guys like and share, if you like, leave a comment and hit the notification bell, and you'll receive more of my uploads. Take care, guys. Oh, also be safe. Stay in the house. Do what you do. Keep your hands washed. Sanitize your hand as you go out. We all have to wear masks, so be safe and have a great night.
No chiropractors getting better get you back. When I'm wildin', you offer direction. You hold me down like oppression.